ready for baseball in Game 2 of this 4-game set between the Dodgers and the Cubs. After the Cubs took Game 1 2-0 yesterday, it's Scott Kazmir and Jake Arrieta here in Game 2. Joe Davis with Oral Hershiser and Nomar Garciaparra. And down in the field in what was a pretty sloppy situation just an hour or so ago is Alana Rizzo. What's it like now down there as we get ready, Alana?
Well, I tell you, here about 2 o'clock this afternoon, between 2 and 2:30, they already had the tarp out on the field, Joe. So they certainly anticipated the weather. And it was raining at a pretty good clip for several hours. In fact, the makeshift bullpen for the Dodgers here along the first baseline about 4:30 this afternoon was completely flooded. So the grounds crew doing a nice job here getting the field ready after a half-an-hour delay, putting the quick dry on the field, a bit of a conditioner, and then they're also hosing down the infield to be able to make sure that they eliminate as much dust as possible on the infield. So a lot of pounding of the infield, a lot of trying to rake it out and make it as dry as possible after it rained for a good solid 3.5 hours here today. So we're good to go after a half-an-hour delay.
All right, Alana, we appreciate your work. And there's Scott Kazmir as he gets ready to make the start today. And it's been good lately. Dave Roberts celebrating his birthday, 44 years old today.
A couple good things about today, or I would say that we didn't just get off a plane flight where the regulars arrived at 4 a.m. But a bad thing is you're facing a big time pitcher on the second day.
Well, you look at it as a bad thing. I look at it as it could be a positive. It depends on how they're thinking in that dugout. Because it could be one of those where the bats were so silent, we touched about it, where they should be high-fiving, getting really pumped up to face a quality pitcher out there and really take it to them and just, prove to themselves and go out there, prove to everybody else to get the victory.
Closed captioning tonight is brought to you by Wiener Schnitzel. It was a beautiful day yesterday for the series opener. It was much windier, though. The flag's still here for Game 2. There he is. Jake Arrieta takes the ball for the Cubs here in Game 2 against the Dodgers. Chase Utley will lead things off against him at the top of this lineup, penned out by Dave Roberts. Corey Seager hits second, and it's Adrian Gonzalez out of the 3 spot because Justin Turner gets the day off. That means Howie Kendrick starts at third base. And if you check the lineups earlier this afternoon, it was different than it is now because Yasiel Puig was a late scratch. They put Carl Crawford in left field and move Grandal up into the 7 spot. Let's take a look at the mini Let's Motor player profile. It's on Jake Arrieta, who's won his last 23 games started, or at least the Cubs have won his last 23 starts, tied for a major league record.
Well, the major league best too, with a 168 batting average against. That's a 138 versus righties as well. So with numbers like that, and we can go on and on about the numbers, which is part of the reason he's 20-0 when you see that record. But what does he do? He comes at you with a fastball that it's in the mid-90s. And the other thing about it, there's some deception because he lands with that landing foot near third base, or through the third base side of the mound. So he kind of throws across his body, which adds some deception and some movement to his pitches. But it's a fastball, it's a cutter, predominantly nearly 80% of the time, those 2 pitches. And he'll mix in a curveball and changeup. He definitely is one of those guys who also knows how to pitch. He's not just a thrower, he's a pitcher, and you got to compete with that.
Yeah, when you talk about the cutter slash slider, it's like a Maeda slider. He can make it bigger, he can make it shorter, he can throw it harder, he can throw it softer. And with every great one, there's a persona. And he has a stare, he has a beard, and he has a mentality that you cannot beat him. He is trying to intimidate the hitter before he even starts his delivery.
It's similar to the way there's a buzz around Los Angeles and Dodger Stadium on the days that Clayton Kershaw starts. It's like that here in Wrigleyville, too. Chase Utley ready to lead it off for the Dodgers here in Game 2. And away we go with strike 1. Utley 0 for 4 in the opener yesterday. A game the Cubs won 2-0 with a 2-run 5th inning against Alex Wood. Dodgers managed only 1 hit. Cubs pitching retired the final 25 batters. 5 different pitchers did so. After Jason Hamill, their starter, left the game following the 2nd inning with cramping.
The one hit didn't have good exit velocity or good trajectory. It was pretty much a pop-up.
Chase Utley takes outside, ball one from Arrieta. And the lone hit came from Justin Turner. Adrian Gonzalez followed that first inning hit with a walk. The Dodgers didn't have another base runner after that.
We always talk about the pitcher setting the tone for your team when he's out there. Well, we also talk about what Chase Utley's been able to do for the offense, setting the tone at the top of the lineup. Right here, working the count 2-2. This is a big pitch right here, but if he's able to get on, that'll really set the tone.
Here comes Arrieta with a 2-2. And Utley cranks the ball to deep right center field. Hayward runs it down. Side of the warning track for out number one. Jake Arrieta, who last lost last July in a no-hitter from Cole Hamels. Since then, 20-0 with a 0.77 earned run average.
Not his best outing in his last one, as he looks to go after Corey Seager, the youngster doing so well.
Yeah, he gave up 4 runs, which was a season high for Arrieta against St. Louis last Wednesday. And lasted only 5 innings, which was a very short night for him.
He said the body and the stuff was real good. Felt like he threw the ball well, but he just made some mistakes. And the Cardinals really capitalized on those mistakes. That's why the poor line for him.
But the best offense in the National League got him 9 runs and kept that streak going. A 9-8 win.
Well, we've been talking about the Dodgers offense with that struggles yesterday, only getting that 1 hit and then trying to find motivation. And I'm saying, well, you're facing Jake Arrieta, that should be motivating to go out there, try to compete and beat him, but also motivating that, remembering how he no-hit them the last time they faced him.
Strike 3 on Seager, 2 gone in the first.
He doesn't strike out as many as Clayton Kershaw, but he knows how to get a strikeout. That a 2-seamer inside that you see Corey raise his arms like this might be too far inside if it's a cutter, but it's not. It's the 2-seamer a la Greg Maddux. That 2-seamer that backs up on lefties inside.
Yeah, that front door 2-seamer.
2 up and 2 down. Here's Adrian Gonzalez hitting 3rd tonight with Justin Turner getting the day off. And works a 2-seam off of the plate, ball 1. Well, Adrian, since getting those few days in a row off to have the epidural with a sore lower back, hitting .351 since coming back. And on a hanger, he bangs it into center for a base hit. Well, Gonzalez with a 2-out single and some of the first hard contact we've seen from the Dodgers here at Wrigley this week.
Well, you mentioned it. He gets that hanging breaking ball, staying on it. That's where you have to, as a hitter, when you're facing a pitcher like Jake Arrieta, you have to go up there and set your sights. You're going, okay, what am I going to be able to handle? Is it going to be up in the zone? Is it going to be down in the zone? He mixes up all his pitches. Or if there's an occasional hanger, maybe it's just up in the zone because maybe down with that kind of slight sink or tail in his fastball, I'd be in trouble and I'll just let it go. So that way you're able to catch up to that hanging breaking ball such as that one.
Jock Peterson hitting cleanup for the 2nd time in his career. Only other time was on his birthday, a road trip through Atlanta back in April.
And no, they are not sentimental at the big league level and let you hit 4th on your birthday.
Hitting .241. He's homered 8 times. Knocked in 24. I think the general consensus around the organization is that pretty pleased with the way he's developing this year.
Dave Roberts has put him in a lot of good places where he can succeed, avoiding some tough left-handers, of course. think Jock is making a lot of adjustments mentally and physically with his stance and his swing. And they really like the work ethic because he's starting to show progress, and the work ethic has continued.
On 2-1, Peterson shows bunt and takes strike 2.
With Jock's power in this moment, all right, they have the shift. We've seen them square around and bunt. Sometimes that just puts it in there that maybe they'll stop shifting. But if you're going to do that, you do it early, maybe with 1 strike. You don't, without any strikes. You don't wait till 1 strike to do it. After that 1, go there and go with your strength.
A missile foul.
That's his strength. But yeah, that way you can give yourself 2 chances to do that. 2, and I don't mean chances because you give yourself 2 strikes. If you're going to square around, do it early or without any strikes, because if you foul it off or miss it, doesn't, okay, that's done. Now I have my strength and get 2 chances to go out there and drive the ball.
Marietta pitches around the 2-out single from Gonzalez. Gets a couple of hitters with 2-seam fastballs. Scott Kazmir takes the ball for the Dodgers in a scoreless game when you come back. The top offense in baseball this season by many measures, averaging more than 5.5 runs per contest. And this is what the lineup looks like tonight. Dexter Fowler had yesterday off because of a sore heel. He's number 2 in the majors at on-base percentage this year. Down in the 5 spot, Ben Zobrist, number 1 in the majors at on-base percentage. And several young stars in this lineup, like that guy Chris Bryant, Soler and Russell down towards the bottom of the order. Montero and then Arrieta, pretty good hitter himself, out of the 9 spot. That's Scott Kazmir, who on Wednesday against Cincinnati struck out a season-high 10. That was his most in 2.5 years. Fell just 1 short of his career high and got the win in that game, allowing just 1 run over 6 innings.
And Scott is not about velocity. Yes, he likes to have good stuff, and the changeup's important, but what he really concentrates on is deception and really staying stacked with his body, making sure that his arm swing as he comes towards the plate is hidden from the hitter and keeping his head on line, which makes him a lot more deceptive.
On the outside corner for strike 1 to Fowler. Cubs have won 6 in a row since their only slump of the season, where they went 4-8 over a 12-game stretch. That followed a 25-6 start. Dodgers, meanwhile, have won 6 of their last 8. That all started with a 17-inning game in San Diego a couple of Sundays ago, after they had dropped 6 of 7. 2-1 on Dexter Fowler.
Not only do the Dodgers have a challenge on the mound today, but this offense is a challenge for Scott Kazmir. This is an electric offense that can really pile up some runs. You don't get their run differential with just having good, solid starting pitching, which is really good. It's led by Arrieta, and then at the tail end, it's John Lackey at about a 3.19. The rotation borders around, an ERA in the ones, and only as high as a 3.19. So that pitching is there in this offense.
Well, when you have your wins, your victories by the margin, you're scoring an average over 5 runs. You're beating teams by an average of nearly 5 runs. That tells you that the offense is doing some damage. And then you see the guys at the top of the lineup you talked about. Dexter Fowler, your leadoff hitter, getting on base over 400% of the time. Second in the majors at 433. And then when he gets a rest like he did yesterday, I'll put Ben Zobrist up there.
Yeah, your backup leadoff hitter leads the majors in on base percentage. 2-2. And it's full on Fowler. Zobrist normally out of the 5 spot. He's back there tonight.
You see Fowler too. I mean, along with that on base percentage, coming in hitting over 300 as well. He's got 6 home runs, so he's got some power. And he'll steal some bases.
Remember this spring, it had been reported that Fowler had signed with the Baltimore Orioles, like it was a sure thing, that type of reporting. But the next day, the report was retracted. He showed up to Cubs camp and surprised even his own teammates, who had already sent him text messages wishing him the best of luck in Baltimore. There's another 3-2. He fouls off another. I'm not sure the Cubs thought at that point that they were getting a guy who would post the kinds of numbers that he's posted. Most folks looked at it as an opportunity to keep Jason Hayward at his natural position in right, and Fowler in center, instead of forcing Hayward to play center field. Wound up being much more than that for the Cubs. 8th pitch of the AB. Just misses, and Fowler walks to start things for the Cubs.
Strike on strike zone, but it's a ball from Jim Wolf. He's usually an umpire that, I don't want to say likes pitchers, but pitchers enjoy having him behind the plate.
So here is Jason Hayward in his first season in a Cubs uniform, and the numbers not been very good. Typically a slow starter, but never like this. Got a big contract in the offseason, $184 million over 8 years. Former Brave, former Cardinal. He's 6 years old.
He was definitely signed for his defense. The defensive metrics for him is off the charts. They hope that they could really help him with the bat. A lot of times for me, Nomar, he looks a little unathletic up there, not hitterish. It's like he ties himself up.
You can see when the ball's coming, he really gets those hands really close to his body and tight. And I mean, here's a guy who has really long arms and doesn't get much separation when he's about to, possibly swing at the pitch. And that's where you probably, it looks like that to the eye. So you see him right there, they're separated, and usually they get more separation, but his come closer to his body.
On the ground is short, could be 2. There's one. Nutley's jump throw won't get Hayward, who runs well, and a fielder's choice. Runner at first with 1 gone.
He almost pushes the bat at the ball.
Yeah, there it comes in, and then that last, right toward the end, the way he grips the bat with that top hand, he almost like kind of cocks it. And it gets the barrel really deep into his hand and back toward near his thumb, and it's a weird angle of his wrist to try to go out there, and they say it kind of gives kind of a loop a little bit to his swing, and it doesn't really have that free flow of kind of throwing the barrel at the ball.
Runner at first with one out. Here's Chris Bryant. Named Rookie of the Year in the National League. Unanimous Rookie of the Year. First half of last season, the argument was, is it Bryant or is it Jock Peterson? Jock Peterson struggled in the second half while Bryant continued to get better and better. Wound up with 275 average at 26 homers, knocked in 99. The only issue was that he struck out more than anybody in baseball last year. Something he's doing much less frequently in his second campaign.
Really the centerpiece of this Cubs offense for now and for the future. A Cubs team that's on pace to win 116 games. 2001 Mariners were the last team to win 116 games. I mean, Joe Madden is going to have to deal with maybe some complacency.
Bryant goes after a high fastball and strikes out. 2 away.
Scott Kazmir does a good job just climbing the ladder on Chris Bryant. Talked about Scott Kazmir, the deception that he really tries to provide when he's pitching. And that deception is because you really don't see the ball until it just comes out of his hand. As a hitter, you're trying to always try to see where the release point of a pitcher is, you know, the hand, so you can really start to focus. But for him, he talked about his head and his release, and it just kind of just comes out at you, and it seems like it comes at you harder than what it is, than what maybe the gun is showing.
Scott Kazmir in his first year with the Dodgers. After a great season last year, split between Oakland and Houston. Signed with the Dodgers during the offseason. This is Anthony Rizzo with a runner at first and 2 gone. Runner takes off, pitches outside, and they'll never get Jason Hayward to run a nice jump.
Jason Hayward just went on first move from Scott Kazmir. A lot of base runners, what they do is they think, if you just gave me a good move right before, like you really try to pick me off, you show me your best move, that you're going, all right, now that you just showed it to me, I'm going to go very first move, because now you're going to focus on the hitter. You try to get me back. I was safe. I made it easy. You're not worried about me. And then he takes off and takes advantage of it.
So Rizzo with a 2-out opportunity here to plate the game's first run. Flies it foul. It's 1-1. The average way down this year for Rizzo. The power numbers, though, and the on-base percentage still close to in line with his career marks. Against left-handed pitchers, that's been a particular problem. It's been one of his big strengths the last 2 years. The lefty Kazmir with a 1-1. And it got him. It's the 9th time he's been hit this year. That's the most in the majors.
That one hurts in a few different ways because it brings up Ben Zobrist, and with his ability to drive in runs on base percentage, you have the left-on-left situation, but a grazing inside fastball sets up a nice opportunity for the Cubs.
And he gets hit a lot because he really gets up on the plate. He crowds the plate. He's a big guy, and obviously big, long arms. So, you know, and he doesn't take it personally as if, oh, they're trying to hit me. He knows that's going to come with it when you crowd the plate.
Strike 1 on Ben Zobrist.
He has a nice move also to look like he's getting out of the way because he's moving, but the parts that are about to get hit are not moving away.
Yeah. Or it's almost like I'm moving, but they end up kind of going into it more by the way I'm moving.
Exactly.
Yeah. Inside on Zobrist, #1 in the majors in on-base percentage. The Cubs struck gold signing him during the offseason. It's always been a nice piece, always an important, valuable player because of his versatility. He's taken it to another level with the offense this year. On 1-1, he takes strike 2.
16-game hitting streak he's on. During that hitting streak, hitting .426. We'd rather had him almost lead off the next inning than hit with 2 out, first and second.
He's knocked in 25 runs in the month of May. Wow. To lead the majors.
It's a good month.
That would be on pace for 150 for the year.
Yeah. His wife did a great job with the anthem in God Bless America before yesterday's game, huh? Juliana Zobrist. 1-2.
Talented family.
She's a professional musician, has a record. Did a great job. A great day here at Wrigley Field. Beautiful out yesterday. Packed house for Memorial Day. Dodgers hoping for a different outcome in this one. Two on, 2 out. And Kazmir's 1-2. Zobrist with a half swing and a miss. He got it. Kazmir able to pitch out a first inning trouble. On to the second after the strikeout of Zobrist. No score. Inside Wrigley Field tonight for game 2 of this 4-game series. The Jock Peterson fan there. And Trace Thompson here leading off the inning against Jake Arrieta. 5, 6, and 7 for the Dodgers. Thompson's first action since Saturday night when he was pulled after 2 at-bats. There's some back soreness, something he'd been dealing with for a few days. Nothing too serious. And back in the lineup, it's Arrieta tonight. In the air down the right field line, Hayward moves over and runs out of room.
That's one thing this Dodger training staff really does, that they try to get ahead of those injuries, or even Dave Roberts and the coaching staff is, even if there's just a little tweak, or even they don't want it to snowball into something bigger, they just go, you feeling it? Well, we have the depth and we have players that we can put in there. Let's just give you a day. Let's just give you some time to rest because we have that depth.
And we're very fortunate to have a lot of plug and play guys. You can plug them in different places.
perfect example was today.
Yep.
I mean, Yasiel Puig was in the lineup, starting in right field, and hamstring felt, a little soreness in his hamstring or whatever he was feeling, and before he gets something really big, hopefully, that's what they're able to say. All right, that's all right. We got somebody in there, Carl Crawford in there.
And they say that he didn't make any contact there. He might have foul tipped it, but I guess not. Strike 3, third K for Arrieta.
A little trivia question for you guys as we watch this K, and a little foul tip. But it wasn't a foul tip. Swing and miss, and the deflection was twice off the rim of the glove. Remember what last July 25th was?
Would that be Arrieta's no-hitter? Or the Cole Hamels no-hitter?
That was the Cole Hamels no-hitter, which gave him his last loss. I think it's time for the Dodgers to let him have that feeling again. But he's got 2 no-hitters himself. They took a no-hitter to beat him this last year.
Howie Kendrick up the middle. There's Addison Russell. 2 gone. That was the first time, guys, the Cubs had been no hit since Sandy Koufax did it to them with a perfect game in 1965.
Wow. To think a starting pitcher has pitched that long and not experienced a loss.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a mental freeway. It's a highway of positive vibe.
Strike 1 on Yasmani Grandal.
You still probably go into Sideworks and you're trying to fix stuff or perfect stuff coming out of your last outing, but you don't have that experience of trying to dig yourself out of a hole.
And I also think it takes, such as his last outing where he gave up 4 earned runs. It also helps where your offense comes and picks you up that day, because we've seen that where Clayton Kershaw goes out there and he may only give up 2 to 3, but the offense doesn't score any or scores 1, and he might take the loss, or the team doesn't get the victory and he gets that no decision. So that whole run that he's on, it also helps. I mean, he has been pitching great, don't get me wrong, I'm not taking that away from him by any means, but I'm just saying too, it also helps that when you're getting some offense too behind you.
Grandal taps it in front of the plate. This is going to be a fair ball, and Grandal will reach. Miguel Montero had time to pick that thing up, but with the grass probably still a little bit wet, couldn't get a good grip on it.
We talk about players in the infield a lot of times having a good baseball clock and realizing who hit the ball. Well, Montero right here forgets that it's Grandal, and he's reaching down quickly also to maybe keep it fair, and he can make the play and get the out.
I think that was it. I think it was more like, here, let me get it because it's going to go foul. Because he knew it was Grandal. I have time to get him out. Let me make sure it's fair, and works out for the Dodgers.
It is ruled an error on Montero as Carl Crawford looks at ball 1. Crawford, the late plug into the lineup, so back-to-back starts for him. Inserted him into the 8th spot in the order, left field, and that moved Trace Thompson from left to right with Puig out with a hamstring.
There are times we see where guys who weren't anticipating starting, they get plugged in for, say, somebody gets scratched, and you're facing a good pitcher where they have a good day. You're like, you weren't anticipating going in there, and they're the ones, different mindset. Come up big, so hopefully Carl can have one of those days.
A mental parachute, because they're really not expected to succeed, and they've got supposedly everything against me kind of being slipped in late. And I think sometimes that's a mental hurdle for guys. It really helps them.
It was like you with your first career start, right? You didn't find out until you got there when the ball was in your glove.
Yep, they didn't want me to know because they didn't want me to have a sleepless night or not be able to eat.
Oh, that ball's thrown into center, and Grandal will take advantage.
Well, Grandal kind of broke as if he was stealing, but didn't go. And then Montero must have seen that at the corner of his eye. But Grandal has stopped and
started tracking the curveball.
Right, and nobody. That's what. Watch. There's Grandal. He says there. He just goes, and I think Montero's going, oh, with this pitch he's going, and didn't realize that stopped. And the middle infielders noticed that Grandal didn't go, so they just stayed their ground. And that's another error.
Yeah, a couple of tough errors.
Crawford swings and misses at one in the dirt.
Got to go. Got to run.
And walks to the dugout. And instead of running down to first, he's tagged out and the inning is over. With a hamstring tweak and more roster moves for the Dodgers. Unfortunately, Alex Wood officially has just been placed on the 15-day disabled list with left elbow soreness. And with that, Julio Urias has been called back from AAA Oklahoma City. This is really terrible to see with how Alex Wood was starting to come on and establish himself as a nice piece to this rotation. And it will open the door for Urias to return to the big league club. Got Kazmir to Jorge Soler with ball one.
It's a big blow for the Dodger rotation because of the quality of Alex Wood, and Scott Kazmir is on the mound tonight. We're really starting to round into form. We wish him the best and hope it's minor and it's only something you missed 2 or 3 starts. A lot of times when it's an elbow and they shut you down, there's at least 4 or 5 days before they let you pick up a ball again, and then they reevaluate. You start to play catch, so it's usually going to be longer than 15 days.
2-1 on Soler. Soler lifts a fly ball to center. Big swing, and the crowd thinking that thing might fly farther than it did, but it lands in Jock Peterson's mitt for out number 1. Here's Alana Rizzo. Having some mic problems with Alana. We'll check in again with her in a moment. Soler the first out of the second, and up comes Addison Russell.
The field is pretty old, so that's understandable.
Blaming it on the Wrigley being old?
It could be a little old with that mic trouble, and also you had the rain, so it might have messed up some of the wiring. So I'm just throwing that on. Yeah. So
I think it might be a wireless mic, though.
Oh, okay. There goes my theory.
Yeah, no
Thanks
excuses. Ball 1 to Russell. 2 hits yesterday, and the 2-0 Cubs win. Kazmir's 1-0. And for a strike. So no word yet what Urias's role will be, or when he'll take the ball. Kenta Maeda scheduled to start the finale of this series. Kershaw scheduled to start the homestand on Friday. 1-2.
There is a rule in Major League Baseball that once you are sent down to the minor leagues, you have to stay there 10 days before you can come back. But there's an amendment to that rule also that you can come back if there's an injury under that time frame, and that's how Julio will come back to the big leagues.
Kazmir blows it by Russell for his third punch out. 2 gone in the second.
He's done a nice job using his fastball to finish hitters off.
I'd like to see Scott Kazmir have a very quick inning here. You know, that first inning, even with no runs, his pitch count got up there, and that's what we've seen from Scott Kazmir. I think early on, he comes out because the pitch count starts just escalating early in his outings, and then there's innings where he's like, okay, it's real quick, but he has that one big inning where he battles through, may not give up a run, but he ends up battling through and throwing a lot of pitches.
He's working on the Cub catcher Miguel Montero. First at bat of this series for him. 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 outings ago for Kazmir, he walked a career high 7. Said it was embarrassing, and he responded to that outing with a striking out, a season high 12 his last time out. A win against Cincinnati last Wednesday.
Did that get any of Yasmani's glove?
No, I think it got the right shoulder pad of Jim Wolf. That's got to be a cross-up.
Yasmani looked like
almost just missed
right
the throat
chest.
Yeah.
Yasmani looked like he was going down with that right knee for a breaking ball. Right? Just because he didn't make any attempt to really catch that fastball if he knew it was a fastball.
2-2. He might really have to earn those frame jobs on the corner. This at bat now. Wolf's not happy.
It's a real ugly trick in baseball when you have a run-in with an umpire and you want to pay him back. But that wasn't it. That wasn't it. This one. That was just a flat-out cross-up.
Kazmir more efficient here in the second inning after there were 3 base runners against him in the first. Got Soler to fly to center. He struck out Russell. And he's got a 2-2 on Montero.
You know, when Scott had the bad outing with the 7 walks, he wasn't needing to reinvent the wheel. He was missing by a hair, and just happened to walk 7. And I know he said it was embarrassing, but it wasn't like you all of a sudden felt like he's not working towards being really good.
Sky high pop up from Montero, and Kazmir with a 1-2-3 second inning. On to the third in Chicago. No score. Got Alana Rizzo's mic working again, right, Alana?
Yes, I appreciate you guys coming back down to me. Alex Guerrero actually has been designated for assignment by the team. His rehab ended kind of where some folks expected. Now, the Dodgers do have 10 days to trade, waive, or release him. He can refuse a minor assignment and become a free agent. So Alex Guerrero no longer with the Dodgers at this point. That means his number 7 is available. The only reason I bring that up is because Julio Urias actually wanted number 7 as his jersey number, or at least having the number 7 in his jersey number. But from 7 all the way up to basically 78, which he currently has right now, was taken. Alex Guerrero had 7, A.J. Ellis 17, 27 belongs to George Lombard, the first base coach. 37 was actually Brandon Beachy, who's no longer on the 40-man. 47 is Howie Kendrick, of course. 57 is Alex Wood, who was placed on the disabled list today. So that's kind of how, 67, that's also Lewis Coleman. That's kind of how Urias ended up with 78. So perhaps in his second start, he will be number 7, guys.
All right, so the intrigue with his number continues. Clayton Kershaw wore a different number for 1 start, right? He switched to 22 after his very first career start. Maybe we see the same thing from Urias.
I almost yelled bingo.
I was thinking, if you're listening, if you're back home, you're going, I'll play all those lotto numbers and see what happens. What are your chances?
And if Urias wants 7, like Alana just reported, and we know, maybe it's odd for a pitcher to have a single digit, but maybe he would take 0-7.
Could you do that?
He's left-handed.
Yeah, he's left-handed, so that's why he can.
The only thing quirkier would be left-handed and be a reliever. See JP Al wearing 0-7 or double 07.
All right, now we're just getting carried away with all the numbers.
Second trip through the order. Chase Utley looks
heavy
at a
jersey when you throw 3 numbers on it. Trust me, Garcia Parra was heavy.
Oh yeah, I bet. And a nameplate.
Spring training, you got guys that have 3 numbers sometimes. They used to.
Second time through the lineup now. Let's see if the Dodgers are able to make some adjustments off Arrieta and get something going.
Arrieta up to Utley. Sends a fly ball in the air to left. Jorge Soler is there. Dodgers have had 4 base runners in this series so far. They've all come with 2 outs. So in all 12 innings of this series, the first 2 men in the inning have been retired. Birthday boy Dave Roberts, 44 years old today. And he spent a few birthdays here in Chicago while he was with San Diego. Padres happen to be in town playing the Cubs. Corey Seager checks his swing, 1-0. Took strike 3, called his first time. One night after his first career 3 strikeout game. Hard hit, base hit. Past the diving Zobrist into right field.
That'll boost the confidence right there, especially as you mentioned, struggling yesterday with those 3 strikeouts, first time in his career, and then starting this game with a strikeout. You don't want, in your head, you're thinking, okay, I really don't need the swings and misses and the strikeouts to snowball on me. Let's have a better at bat. Let's focus. And then it finds the hole, and you're like, okay, good. That resets you.
And it brings up Adrian Gonzalez, runner at first, 2 gone. Had a sharp single into right center his first time. His 9th hit, 5 games on this road trip. 9 for 16 for Adrian. Pretty good facial hair matchup here.
Adrian hot on this road trip, but it's never dictates how he feels about wanting to play. If he's hot, if he's cold, does he need a day off? He wants to be in there all the time.
strikes low, 1-2.
And I really appreciate about Adrian is he doesn't duck the really hard pitchers, because as a veteran that they would love to get off his feet every once in a while, you can kind of be subtly strategic about when you ask for your off days, and you can duck them. But Adrian never ducks a challenge.
Broke his bat on a one-hopper to second. Zobrist throws him out. The third inning is over. On to the bottom half in a scoreless game at Wrigley. On in many parts of the country. I think in Chicago, the answer would be Arrieta. Los Angeles, the answer would be Kershaw. Who's the greatest pitcher in the game right now? The numbers stack up pretty closely.
I'll tell you what, if I was drafting, I would take Clayton. I like the strikeouts. Excuse me. The strikeouts and the fact that Clayton can just dominate a game by the ball not even being put in play, compared to Jake Arrieta, you just don't see the strikeout to walk ratio. His is only like 3-1, and Clayton's right now, my gosh, what, 105-5?
Yeah. It breaks down to about 22-1 for Kershaw right now, strikeout to walk ratio.
Well, I think that's what's fun about baseball, is because you can have great pitchers like that. You can have these debates. Fans can have these debates, and you can find numbers that can prove your side, and vice versa. You'll find another number to prove the other way, and depends on which one you want to weight more than the other. But no matter what, they're still great. Both are great pitchers, and it makes it fun.
It'd be a pretty good 1-2 punch.
Oh wow.
Be unfair.
Might be able to run off about 3 or 4 world championships in a row.
Just misses outside, 2-2.
And one thing I also think both of them do well is they both take pride offensively too, trying to help their teams out. Arrieta only has 1 home run this year, but you know how Clayton is with the bat and running hard and trying to spark his team somehow. And Arrieta will try to do the same thing.
And Kazmir gets his 4th punch out of the game. 1 gone here in the 3rd. Clayton Kershaw threw a side session earlier today, despite the fact that it was raining pretty hard. He still went out there, and A.J. Ellis catching that bullpen, and look at the folks that flocked in instead of batting practice, they got to see Clayton Kershaw.
Clayton had a very specific workout today. It looked like he was working really hard on fastballs into both righties and lefties. Normally in his side works, it's he and Rick Honeycutt just doing the work, but he also had Jock Peterson and Justin Turner down there standing in each batter's box as he tried to perfect a few fastballs in.
Oral, when you did your side work, did you do a majority of your side work out of the stretch or out of the windup? The reason I ask that is Greg Maddux, a lot of his was out of the stretch because he's thinking, all right, the biggest pitches I have to make is usually with people on, so I want to make sure I'm really comfortable out of the stretch.
Yeah, I started mine from the stretch, then went into the windup, and I would say it probably ended up being about 60-40 when I was full blown and loosen up, 60% from the stretch. The biggest key for me was just making sure that my delivery from the stretch was the same as my delivery from the windup, and the only difference would be just the step back and the turn.
Foul to the opposite field. Thompson comes out and plays it in a bounce. One out single, Dexter Fowler. And the first base hit against Kazmir.
George Lombard has been working really hard with our outfielders on fielding ground ball. And Trace Thompson played that ball very, very well with very sure hands. That confidence that you can charge it and still keep the ball in front of you. They hit ground balls on the dirt, which are harder than fielding them on the grass, to increase the difficulty level, and then they hit them like that, short hoppers at them, so that they can be more aggressive and catch more balls in the air, not pull up.
Jason Hayward with a runner at first and one gone in a scoreless third inning.
Well, I know George Lombard said one of the coolest statements coming from Trace Thompson that he heard was when Trace Thompson came over and he said, George, you can't overwork me. You know, he just loves to work. So he goes, whatever you see, whatever you feel, he goes, and we need to go out there. He goes, I will be there working with you. And he really appreciated that.
It's a great comment from a young player. And sometimes in a way is refreshing, because this coaching staff, being a very young coaching staff, kind of feeling their way through the workload of joining the club and dealing with new relationships. It's just, that freedom is amazing.
Kazmir throws to first with Fowler taken off, and they've got him. So the Cubs run into an out, and two away here in the third.
Well, we talked about Hayward, right? And I mentioned about how usually when you give the first move or you pick over and it's a good pick, the base stealers say, okay, he's not going to come over a second time, don't go back to back, because you just showed me your good one, so I'll see if I can possibly cheat and go on the first move. Well, Hayward got away with it. Dexter Fowler was trying to do the same thing, and he gets caught. It's a good job by Kazmir to double up there.
Comes a 1-1, and Hayward strikes it foul, 1-2. Reached on a fielder's choice his first time. Stole second, was stranded there. Kazmir trying to face the minimum for the second inning in a row. And his 1-2 to Jason Hayward. Popped up on the right side of the infield. Adrian Gonzalez under it. And the inning comes to a close. No score through 3. Jock Peterson will try and change that. Middle third of the Dodge order coming up in the 4th against Arrieta. Peterson, Thompson, and Kendrick after this.
Jock Peterson in the box to lead off the top of the 4th inning. Jock has hit as far down as 8th in the lineup and already in the cleanup spot today, with Justin Turner being out and Adrian Gonzalez being moved up to the 3-hole. And Dave Roberts said he really likes the way that Jock is squaring balls up. He said he seems to have more competitive at-bats. He's starting to mature offensively. He said he's really been working on a routine. He's certainly growing up. He's a very talented young player, is how Dave Roberts described him. He said, you know, Pepper has been helping him clear up that bat path, and he said his head has been a lot more quiet. Really likes the ABs that this kid's taken, guys.
And I think that Pepper has helped him. I mean, I think last year we talked about how, you know, big his swing was, swings and misses. I always said, gosh, if you had a video on him and just watched at bat after at bat, you couldn't tell what the count is. And I think now, if you watched his swings after at bat, they don't look the same all the time. You can tell, oh, that looked like he was just shortening up as a 2-strike approach, or he was just trying to make contact rather than just swinging for the fences every single time. So that's just one of the things they wanted to work on with him, and it also shows signs of maturity.
He flies one into left center. Ray Soler settles under it for out number 1. Continue your Dodger retired numbers pin series collection June 4th when the Dodgers take on the Braves. Pin features number 20, Don Sutton, courtesy of 76. For tickets, go to Dodgers.com/promotions. Braves and Rockies in the upcoming homestand. 3 more left with the Cubs, including tonight. Mike Bolsinger takes the ball for the Dodgers tomorrow against John Lester. Trace Thompson looks at ball 1. Now it's scheduled to be Kenta Maeda for the Dodgers on Thursday. Remember, he took that ball off his hand, line drive off his hand in New York. Swelling went down. There still is some pain there. Dave Roberts said earlier today that they're still waiting to assess exactly what things look like for Thursday based on how his hand continues to recover. Kyle Hendricks will counter for the Cubs Thursday afternoon. Thompson smashes one off of the mound. Ricochets to short. Russell throws line to the bag. Thompson safe.
Well, they're going to wait. See, you're going to see Anthony Rizzo's reaction to see if he believes he got him or tagged him, because as they call them safe, because they're going to be looking to see, they're checking the instant replay to see if Rizzo does actually get the glove on him, as we have a look ourselves. And from that angle, it looked like he may have gotten him. And it's tough to see, but that's why they're going to have a look. You guys were in New York, right? You got to see, or you got to see how they look at the replays, and they have so many more different angles than we actually see here on TV.
Yep, they have a lot of different angles, and they also love it when the producers go to their super slow-mo cameras, because they can break it down frame for frame. And this one won't take very long. Their average time has been cut. It is done with military synchrony and quality and discipline. It's absolutely amazing. They have 6 different pods with a technician and a major league umpire in 2 chairs next to each other, and they are monitoring 2 games. And when all of a sudden they go into a close play mode, if there's a close play, so they start working on it even before the manager calls for the replay, as this one is an out coming from New York. And then once the replay is called for, they go into replay mode, and then more and more angles are looked at, and the technician calls for angles from a big board where another technician is looking at all the possible angles, and they are asking, the major league umpire is asking the technician to call for each one, and they are not looking at it on a monitor size. It's probably about the size of a 46-inch screen, and they can enhance it and do all kinds of things. So
it's about that big.
Yeah, they are very, very accurate.
That thing is huge, huh? The video board left center here.
It was a very impressive operation there in New York.
Well, the way you were describing it and getting all the angles and getting it, and technicians, I can understand now at times why we're going, why is it taking so long, or what are they looking at? And I know a lot of times
do it right.
Exactly. So I can see why.
They have 6 umpires in there and an umpire supervisor. There's about 25 people in the room that are working on all the games across the country. They've had a maximum of 4 going at once in all the games that are happening, and they've had a maximum of 18 in a night where they've had to go into replay mode and give the call.
Do they have the sound on, or do they mute us?
They do not do the sound. They don't want to be biased. They've done statistical analysis on their umpires about would there be any favoritism where an older umpire would protect another veteran umpire, or where a young umpire get picked on and get reversed more, and it all says nope, it's completely even-handed, and they are working hard every day to make it better and faster. It was really, really impressive. They should do a special, an internal special, so fans can see it, because I think fans would then be more tolerant of the time and the calls when they see how intricate they go about their business.
Howie Kendrick with the bases empty, 2 gone in the 4th. Arrieta's 3-2. Got in on him with that tailing 2-seamer. It's Russell, and it's the first 1-2-3 inning of the night for Jake Arrieta. On to the bottom of the 4th, still no score. Is brought to you by the Dodge Challenger. Test drive one at your local Dodge dealer today. And by Carl's Jr., the California Classic Double Cheeseburger for just $2.49 at Carl's Jr. Ernie Banks statue outside Wrigley Field. Mr. Cub passed away a little more than a year ago. One of the all-time greats, 2-time MVP. He's an all-star 14 times during his career. He's got Kazmir back to the mound here for the bottom of the 4th. Threw his warm-up pitches, and then just a moment ago, remember, the training staff came out to take a quick look at him.
They were looking at his pitching hand, maybe a little blister or something going on there.
He stays in and faces the meat of the Cubs order. Ball 1 to Chris Bryant. The last thing Dodgers need is anything wrong with Kazmir on a day where Alex Wood has been placed on the disabled list. Julio Urias recalled to the majors. He's been dealing with that spot between his thumb and wrist. It's really only bothered him at the plate, though. 2-1 on Bryant.
Yeah, the left hand, as far as he was relegated to just bunting or maybe pulling it back and slashing, but no, not allowed to take a full swing. Doing something like pitching a baseball and it requires such precision, especially at this highest level of competition, a little minor ache or pain down there by your wrist or your fingers is almost impossible.
Bryant hammers the ball to right, sending Thompson back to the warning track, and he just got under that one.
It's funny because you see that one go off the bat, goes up in the air, the crowd gets excited, and makes you go, okay, well, let's look at the flags. Let's look how the wind is a factor. I mean, we had rain here today, and I'll tell you, the flags aren't moving, and it's a beautiful night as we have another look at the Morongo slow-mo cam as that ball coming off of Chris Bryant's bat. But like I said, no wind in the air. This is a beautiful night here in Chicago. Can't say the wind's blowing out, blowing in either way. So if you hit it out, it's fair. It's a true home run.
Great exit velocity, but poor launch angle. You want to look at it from a StatCast standpoint. Anthony Rizzo takes ball one. That's something that Bryant was working on during the offseason, lowering his overall average launch angle because of the number of days they have here at Wrigley where the wind is blowing in. And with the high launch angles that he was averaging, he was losing a lot of balls that had the high exit velocity, but were hit so high the wind was knocking him down, turning him into outs. Kazmir to Anthony Rizzo with a 1-1.
So far here at Wrigley, the Cubs have played 18 games at home where the wind was blowing in. They've played 4 games where the wind was blowing out, and they've played 2 where it was a crosswind. But as the summer heats up, that wind direction will start to change. Nomar, you know better than anybody from playing here.
Floated to center. Peterson charging on, still coming and making the play. Jock Peterson was positioned very deep with a powerful Anthony Rizzo at the plate. And on a long run, Jock makes the play for out number 2.
I don't know if that was a pack of, and it looked like a pack of sunflower seeds comes flying out of his pocket as he comes to get this. Watch this. See that kind of fall out of his back pocket as he makes the play. Good job keeping the concentration. You know, back home they're like, what was that? Yep, it was sunflower seeds that he had.
He's out there snacking.
Strike one on Ben Zobrist. Were you a sunflower seed guy in the back pocket?
And then not when I was on the field.
No.
I just, no. No, I usually wouldn't put a pack. If I did do it, it was very rare. It was occasional, but you would just stick a handful in your pocket and have it in there.
Right.
And hey, that was nice. Hey, thanks, Carl. Way to pick up my prestige. Appreciate it.
Got to keep you occupied out there in center field. You're lonely.
One ball and 2 strikes on Zobrist, who struck out his first time in a big spot. Cubs had him at first and second in the first inning. Kazmir tied him up with a ball that was in. 1-2. Got him again, this time with a changeup. That's 5 punch outs over 4 shutout frames for Scott Kazmir, who's built off of one of his best starts of the season his last time with a good one so far. Jake Arrieta and is this Cubs pitching staff. You go back to the final inning of the game before Arrieta's no-hitter at Dodger Stadium last year. That's 23 consecutive scoreless innings executed by Cubs pitching against the Dodgers. And in that stretch, no Dodgers reached third base. Yasmani Grandal leading off this inning against Arrieta. Crawford and then Kazmir.
Well, we should have shown that stat to the Dodgers. Hopefully they're putting that up into the middle of the dugout to get something going, get them fired up to try to put something on the board.
In my day, that was called bulletin board material.
They don't have bulletin boards in there anymore, right? It's all
iPads
or screens, right? They have some flat screens in there. The message, more of a message board than a bulletin board.
Dry erase. Yep. Last night, yesterday, it was the bullpen that saved the day for the Cubs. It was the first time in 99 years that a bullpen had 7+ perfect innings to finish a game by anybody, not just the Cubs, period. We go back to 1917. In a game where Babe Ruth was ejected after the first inning, and the relief corps was perfect from there on out.
The only thing longer in Cubs history is the gap between world championships. Well, what are we up to now? 105 years?
108. 1908.
Oh my God.
Back-to-back titles in 07 and 08.
And on the drive here on the bus, if you look into some of the windows of the apartments and places around, you know, this is the year. Some of them put up.
Yasmani Grandal takes ball 4. Maybe a gift for the Dodgers to begin this 5th inning. And it brings up Carl Crawford.
You know, to be even-handed, we have to talk about Carl not running on the 3rd strike in the dirt in the last inning. With 2 outs in the broadcast, we had no time to review it, but this is completely wrong. And Carl needed to go and force them to throw that ball, especially when Montero has had such a tough inning as far as throwing the ball, throwing it into center field, and not picking it up. But Carl's out when he gives up on advancing to first base. Just like when a batter runner is going down to first base and the first baseman wants to tag you and the batter runner starts backing up towards home, he is automatically out, and then the first baseman would be eligible to now throw to another bag if there was another runner on. So Carl gave up that advancement. We've seen Yasiel Puig, actually benched for not running a ball out.
Well, that definitely needs to be brought up to Carl. I'm sure they're going to talk to him about it because Yasmani, who's on first base, he was near scoring. He was coming around, so you just never know. If a bad throw, that's a run, and there's no longer that 20. We're not talking about those 23 scoreless. They break that streak. So, in games like this, especially when you're facing a tough pitcher, you got to do all the little things.
Crawford to the hole and short. Quick turn for 1, but that's all they'll get.
If Dave Roberts would have had the notion of, you know what, I need to be even-handed and set Carl down, he really can't. With Yasiel scratching himself with the tight left hamstring, he was in the lineup to start, so he's got an even shorter bench right now.
He's got Kazmir. Runner at first and 1 gone. First time in this series the Dodgers have had a man on base before there's 2 outs in an inning. Kazmir will try and move him up to set up an RBI chance for Chase Utley.
What happens in those situations too, when Carl didn't run and he makes egregious error, and even in his own mind he would coach himself and say, boy, I blew it. A veteran's going to go up to Yasiel like Carl, and he's going to pat him and say, that's my bad, I'm sorry, I made you look bad.
Kazmir pulls it back, hits it back to the mound. There's 1. There's the inning. They barreled it up and right at Arrieta. We are halfway home in Chicago and still no score.
The Carl's Cam replay in that last half inning, and it was Scott Kazmir pulling the bat back. He was thinking about bunting. He was supposed to bunt, sacrifice it, but it was the second baseman who breaks to first, and he really went over there. When the second baseman breaks that much and leaves that hole, often pitchers are taught, pull the bat back, or any player, bring it back and try to slash and see if you can hit that hole. That's what Scott Kazmir was trying to do on that situation. A lot of times you see the wheel play with first and third, or first and second, runners on first and second, so it's even a bigger hole. But that one, it's just unlucky that he wasn't able to execute it, but it was a good idea by Scott Kazmir.
He's thrown 4 scoreless innings against the top offense in the National League. Averages more than 5.5 runs per game. Building off of the momentum of his last start when he K'd his season high 12 against Cincinnati last Wednesday. Look at Soler, Russell, and Montero, 6, 7, and 8 in the Cubs order here in the 5th. Matching Cubs ace Jake Arrieta 0 for 0 through 4.5. Strike one on Soler. Well, without batting gloves, that's the first time I've ever seen him go without batting gloves. Hitting only 207, trying to break out of what has been a 2-month slump to begin this year. 0-2. Did you ever ditch the gloves to try and break out of the slump?
No, I couldn't do that. I couldn't get that feel. No.
What would you do between pitches?
That too. I also know now the grips that they put on are a lot softer.
Rolled to third, Holly Kendrick.
They don't. It's not necessarily just tape on there. They're like almost what you see on a tennis racket. So you can now go and get a feel. Whereas compared to just being straight with the on wood with your hands and the pine tar that can really kind of rough up your hands and stuff where you have the batting gloves or tear up your hands. But now with those new grips, I can see more guys trying to go without the batting gloves.
Here's Russell. Struck out his first time, 1 of 5 for Kazmir. Hangs one, but it's taken for a strike. One of the bright young stars on this Cubs team. Russell only 22 years old. He's the youngest of the bunch. Former Oakland A prospect. Came over in the Jeff Samardzija deal back in 2014. In that same deal, the Cubs sent yesterday's starter Jason Hamill to Oakland, where he finished the 2014 season before re-signing with the Cubs, coming back over to Chicago. 2-1. High fly ball back of the infield. Seager. 2 gone. Start your weekend off with a bang. Friday night, June 3rd. Dodgers coming back home, and after the game, take your place on the field for a pyro show with the special LGBT night music mixed by DJ Blacklaw. Friday night fireworks presented by Denny's. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. 74 pitches total for Scott Kazmir. No score here in the bottom of the 5th. Ball one on Montero.
Scott's got that changeup going. He's even thrown at the lefties like Tom Glavine kind of invented when he was at the end of his career with the Mets. Started throwing left-handed changeups left in.
Catches a corner, and he's ahead of Montero 1-2. Chance to get his third 1-2-3 inning out of the first 5 innings tonight. 6 strikeouts for Kazmir over 5 scoreless innings. And matching Jake Arrieta punch for punch through 5 tonight. Brought to you by Jack in the Box. It's back. The Portobello Mushroom Buttery Jack. Taste it before it's gone at Jack in the Box. Back here in Chicago, 3rd trip through the Dodgers order against Jake Arrieta. No score as we start the 6th inning. And Chase Utley hits one softly back to the mound. Arrieta's got it. 1 out. Time for our Coors Light Cold Hard Fact. Looks at Corey Seager and the shortstops in baseball that are leading that position in RBIs. Got a rookie at the top in Trevor Story. The Cubs shortstop Addison Russell is second. And there's Corey Seager sliding in at fourth among shortstops and runs batted in. 1 for 2 today is Seager. Strikeout in the first, a single in the third. That's one of 2 hits against Arrieta.
Dodgers, I mean, I know being captain obvious here, need to get something going. And obviously not just because it's 0-0, but also because of the effort we're seeing by Scott Kazmir. You see your starting pitcher going out there and he's going pitch for pitch against Jake Arrieta, going, okay, we got to find a way to get him a run.
I think what you're mentioning is way above captain obvious. I would give it a higher rank.
Don't sell yourself short.
Listen, I know it's the obvious, but I'm just saying, though, but when you see what Scott Kazmir is doing.
Oh, no. You want to support him.
Right.
What does that feel like to be an everyday player? You're in the lineup and you know the pitcher is going out there. He's finally gotten on track his last few starts. He was 3-1 in May. Now he's really picking up where he left off. He's filling in, you know, right in there behind Maeda and Kershaw as bolstering the rotation.
You recognize it. You see all that as an everyday position player. And you want to help him out every which way, not just from defense, but on the offensive side, because you know he's going out there, he's battling. You also know who the opposing pitcher you're going up against as well. And you're going, all right, he's giving us a chance to win and put some runs on, and we just, you know, we have to do this for him. You know, it's not just for the team, but it's just you start getting that feel more because you see the effort that Kazmir is doing.
And I've been on teams or on benches where they verbalize it as they come in from defense, or I've been on other times where it's kind of quiet and guys are whispering to each other as they sit next to each other on their bench.
Right. But simple as you do feel it, you do know it, you do recognize it.
It's a white elephant in the dugout.
Not much room for an elephant in these dugouts.
And then with that, as you feel it, as you know, you battle yourself going up there that you don't start pressing or thinking, okay, well, I'm going to be the guy with one swing to finally put that one on the board.
And there are years as a pitcher, a starting pitcher, when you get your 32 to 35 starts, that you just draw the short straw a lot during the year, where the offense just isn't with you for those 32 or so. You might get it, you know, 50% of the time, and you're battling. I think that's another place where Jake Arrieta gets the benefit sometimes, where the Dodgers not always supported Clayton with runs, and so he has more high leverage pitches.
You got him. And the inning comes to a close on strikeout number 6 of the night for Jake Arrieta. On to the bottom of the 6th in Chicago.
scoreless game here at Wrigley Field. And when you think of Wrigley Field, there are certain identifiers of this place. Of course, the marquee on the outside when you're walking in, the ivy, the manual scoreboard, and a lot of day games. That was until 1988. Time now for the T-Mobile Raider coverage of baseball. Didn't get lights until 1988. August 8th, in fact, was supposed to be the first night game. It ended up being on August 9th because of rain the day before. But how about that, guys? All day games up until 1988. Really changed the city. It changed Wrigleyville around here, created a bit of a nightlife. And you guys were talking about it yesterday as far as day games versus night games and the difference for players.
1 ball and 1 strike on Jake Arrieta. Thanks, Alana. And Omar, I know you spent a couple of years here in Wrigley, and while they do have the lights and clearly play night games, there still are more day games here at Wrigley than there are anywhere else.
I enjoyed them. I liked all the day games. It's a nice city because it seemed like you can get home at a decent hour, grab some dinner, get back in bed, and then do similar to kind of spring training. That kind of feel without, obviously, you know, the more intense games in the spring training game. But I'm just talking about from your clock, your body clock.
And it's an interesting place because the lights are only coming from the foul territory side. There over the home run fence, you have no lighting coming from the outfield. So the lighting here is not the best. And I kind of enjoyed the night games here because I felt like the hitters actually had a tougher time seeing the low pitch, the sinker, with the lighting having to almost reflect off the grass to light the bottom of the ball because it wasn't coming from all the way around the field.
Kazmir got Arrieta for his 7th K, and back to the top of the order, and Dexter Fowler, who's reached both times. Is the only hit tonight for the Cubs. Kazmir's 0-1. Bit of it inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. You saw the graphic a moment ago. This is the 2nd oldest ballpark behind Fenway Park. Dodger Stadium, the 3rd oldest ballpark in the majors.
I think, like Fenway, they've done a great job preserving the look but enhancing the amenities for the players and for the fans. I hope we don't lose either ballpark ever.
Fowler hits a high drive to deep left center field. Peterson back to the wall, and he's got it for out number 2.
This being the 25th home game for the Cubs, I think it will be greater than the 19th one where the wind is at least blowing in a little bit. And the flags that Nomar mentioned earlier that were blowing straight down are now blowing in and slightly to left, and I think that rescued that hard hit fly ball.
Fowler thought he got it, judging by the sound and the way that he trotted out of the box, but instead allowed out number 2. Strike 1 to Jason Hayward.
We might be having a little change in the weather because there was a window about 3 or 4 hours before some more cloud cover was supposed to come in, and that might be why those flags are blowing now.
It's so common here when you play and you hit a ball or you think you get it and it stays in, is as you're walking back, that's what you're looking at. You just start looking at the flags. You're like, oh, of course. Or
those judging eyes of yours.
And these are the truest flags in all of the big leagues.
Right.
It's because there's no place for the wind to hit and swirl around and go out. This is a true wind where some ballparks you have to know when the flag in center is doing this, the wind's blowing out to left. When the flag over the dugout, you got to know it all.
How about 10 straight retired by Scott Kazmir? And we go to the 7th inning, and quite a pitcher's duel between Arrieta and Kazmir. so far.
And Jake Arrieta once again having the command with his fastball, freezing hitters, and also with his breaking ball, getting those swings and misses from a lot of the Dodger hitters.
On the other side, Scott Kazmir, these fastballs that are finishing off hitters, it's been set up by an outstanding changeup, and he is going toe-to-toe with Jake.
Jock Peterson took a ball, leading off this 7th inning. Middle third of the Dodger order against Arrieta. Hack and a miss, 1-1. Jock is 0 for 2 today with a strikeout and a flyout. It'd be hard for a left-handed hitter to hit one out right now with that wind picking up. Cross from right to left, judging by the center field flags. 1-1. 1-2.
But these guys, you take a look at the statistics and the quality of the pitches, the consistency, and really not a lot of mistakes at all.
Nobody's reached third base tonight. Only 2 runners have reached second. Jason Hayward in the first inning. Yasmani Grandal in the second inning. Arrieta home with a 1-2. 1 gone. So now both pitchers have 7 strikeouts. You can show off your Dodger pride with a Dodger license plate frame. Get yours at the Dodger game Monday, June 6th. First 40,000 fans will get it. It's presented by Arco. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. The 1 away for Trace Thompson. Looks at strike 1. And the Dodgers, the problems hitting home runs over the first month or so of the season. But since May 10th, they lead the National League in homers. That all started with Trace Thompson's walk-off pinch hit home run.
He's worked really hard on his mechanics and not gotten big. He's really shortened his swing. He's got very long arms, and he uses a little bit shorter bat than most to kind of help not get too long. We saw him really at that time start to go to right field an awful lot, start to really work on his base hit swing. Something that's going to be more consistent, and the power has come with it.
Dave Roberts said before the game today he thinks Trace Thompson will be an all-star at some point during his career.
He also said if Andre Ether would have been healthy, he wouldn't have made the team out of spring.
Which is the truth.
Right. It shows the depth of the organization that you have somebody who's not going to make the team out of spring, but he's also having a great year up here with the opportunity, and now the manager's projecting him as an all-star someday.
Comes Arrieta with a 1-2. Hard hit to third. Chris Bryant. High throw. The Rizzo grabs 2 away. Trace Thompson has been so good that he's earned himself close to an everyday role, whether that be in left field or it's in center against left-handed starting pitchers. What has turned into a platoon in center with Peterson has been as much about Trace Thompson's emergence as it has had anything to do with Jock Peterson and his lack of success against left-handers. Which is right now, Trace gives you a better chance against a left-handed pitcher.
I think coming into spring training, there was no real thought of maybe Jock having to be platooned. It was only going to be maybe against certain types of left-handers. And I think you're so right, Joe, about the emergence of Trace that has made it all of a sudden look like a full platoon.
Kendrick ahead of Arrieta 2-0. See if he gets one to drive. Outside, 3 balls, no strikes.
I'll tell you, with a pitcher like Jake Arrieta, 3-0, a veteran, you give him the green light. You say, go ahead. If it's one you feel like you can handle, let it go. And he was taking. Usually you don't get one right down the middle from a guy like him. That's why there might be there's that one chance. You worked it to 3-0. He doesn't get too many 3-0 counts, like just 3-0 counts. Going to take advantage of it.
And he walked him. Second walk of the night issued by Arrieta. And the 7th inning stays alive for Yasmani Grandal.
It's a great pitcher like Jake Arrieta. You think I'm going to get one pitch to hit. But if you ever get him in a count where it's 2-0, 3-1, or 3-0, you think I got a chance to get 2 pitches to hit. But you got to capitalize on that one where you might be looking for a walk.
And it also depends on how you're feeling. I mean, if you feel like you're struggling, you're like, all right, I'll be happy with the walk. I just need to find a way to get on.
But if you're dirt and holding on at first is Kendrick.
And on the flip side, if you're feeling good and you're like, all right, you're right, I'll take 2 chances. I'm feeling good. And what I mean by feeling good, there are times where you're feeling good where if I get my pitch, I know I'm either going to really crush it and drive it, or I'm fouling it. I'm not like, oh, taking a weak swing, or I'm going to put this in play by rolling over.
Swing and a miss. You saw Joe Blanton down in the Dodger bullpen.
Just in case the inning continues with Kazmir down there in the 9 hole. We're in the 7 hole right now.
Justin Turner has a batting helmet on, sitting on the top step of the dugout. If it were to get that far. Because if it does get that far, probably means the game's on the line.
Kazmir's pitch count at 90. I think they probably only get 1 more inning out of him. It's not even a bad time, and I think Jake is thinking that same thing on the mound, that Howie Kendrick might attempt a stolen base, because there's going to probably be a pinch hitter for Kazmir next inning anyway.
Pretty good lead.
Howard tries to steal, gets thrown out. Your next inning you have Grandal, Crawford, and a pinch hitter. But you also have a chance against a great pitcher having a great outing to maybe squeak a run over this inning.
There goes Kendrick. Pitches upstairs. Throw down. Won't get him. And the go-ahead run is in scoring position for Grandal with 2 gone.
Just what you were talking about there, Oral. He was waiting. He was looking. He was feeling, trying to say, when's a good time I can go? I've seen a couple of pickoffs. I'm trying to see, okay, let me look at that front foot. Let me get a read. Got a great jump.
Can Grandal come through?
Well, they have first base open now, and even though it's a 2-2 count, he's 1 strike away from putting him away. They know that they can still use some risky pitches and concentrate on Carl Crawford if they happen to lose Grandal.
Only the 3rd time a man has been in scoring position tonight. 2-2. Grandal takes it in the dirt. The count is full. Kendrick at second with 2 away, and a 3-2 to Grandal. In the dirt, kicks away from Montero. Up to third goes Kendrick, and they're at the corners for Crawford with 2 away.
Carl hit with a man on second. That was Grandal in his last at bat. Now he's got a chance of a little redemption and pick up a run here as As Monty takes that ball in the dirt, scoots away, and first and third, 2 out.
And Chris Bosio, the pitching coach, will go out to talk with the guy that gives him a lot of credit for his turnaround in a Cub uniform. Jake Arrieta, when he was with Baltimore, was not good. In fact, in his 3+ seasons there, he had the worst earned run average in Orioles history for a starting pitcher with enough outings to qualify. He's been a different guy with the Cubs. Chris Bosio right away encouraged him to be himself, pitch the way that he felt natural after the Orioles had tinkered with him so much. And now one of the more dominant pitchers in the game. Right now, though, Scott Kazmir's matched him, and that means Carl Crawford has a chance to put Arrieta on the hook for his first loss since last July. That's ball 1.
Well, with Yasmani up at the plate, you had the ball almost go between Montero's legs, and then you saw that other wild pitch that hits him off his shin guard. Well, now you have a go-ahead run 90 feet away. There's still a possibility of that as well.
2-0 on Crawford. The pitcher's spot due next. That means it'd be Justin Turner. Montero sets away for this 2-0. And Carl Crawford takes it in the dirt. Nice stop, Montero.
This is the one where you're, as a hitter, you're going, okay, I'm battling myself. 3-0. We were just talking about it. Going, you have to feel good and really keyhole it to let it fly.
Here comes. He walked him, and they're loaded for Justin Turner. So Jake Arrieta has walked the bases loaded after he retired the first 2 men in this inning.
He's walked one less guy than Clayton Kershaw has all year in this game. He has 4 in the game. Clayton has 5 on the year, and that's where you appreciate Clayton even more. And now Justin Turner has a shot to give the Dodgers a possible W and Arrieta a possible L.
Which he's not had since last July. These are the spots Justin Turner lives for. Strike 1.
You know that. You know it as a pinch hitter. You're going, he just walked the guy, the bases loaded, on 4 straight pitches right in front of me. And you're going, wow, pinch hitting, maybe I got to take. And it's usually that one right down the middle.
Had one to hit there and fouled it off. 0-2.
Well, the one before we talked about, so you're going, all right, am I going to get another one? Well, Justin Turner does get it. That's the one you want back. You're like, he made a mistake. That ball crept right down the middle of the plate, and he just missed it.
Dodgers leave the bases loaded in the 7th. the stretch here, they obviously always play Take Me Out to the Ball Game, and today they played a rendition that Vin Scully performed and congratulated him on his 67 glorious years as the voice of the Dodgers. What a wonderful singing voice. Most people go up there and do the Take Me Out to the Ball Game and are out of tune and way off as far as keeping pace with the piano or the organ.
Not Vin's pipes.
No. Chris Bryant pops one up off Joe Blanton. And it comes dancing around on Chase Utley, who's able to settle under it for the first out. So Blanton comes in replacing Kazmir, who was fantastic through 6 shutout frames.
Scott Kazmir just to give up 1 hit and just 1 walk in his performance. And just a tremendous performance by Scott Kazmir.
Vin has said that if he weren't broadcasting, and none of us can really imagine a world where that'd be the case, but that he likes to think that he might be a song and dance man.
Fred Astaire.
Incredible voice, we know that.
Strike one on Anthony Rizzo. 0 for 1 today, reached when he was hit by a pitch in the first inning. That's really the only time the Cubs have threatened today. They had runners at first and second. And Kazmir struck out Ben Zobrist to get out of that jam. Since then, only 1 base runner. Blanton's 1-1, and Rizzo takes strike 2. He stands so close to the plate that it gives the illusion that the inside corner strike is further inside than it is.
Right now his hands are over the plate.
And he swings and misses. Strike 3. 2 up and 2 down.
Joe Blanton threw 2 types of sliders in there. The one he elevated on purpose, keeping by the waist and the hands so he couldn't extend his arms, and then he went with the one down in the dirt. 2 pitches, but going to 2 different locations and found 2 holes.
Zobrist is fanned both times. The Cubs' pen was stirring some when Arrieta was getting into some trouble last inning, but it's quiet now. Zobrist looks at ball 2.
107 pitches for Jake Arrieta.
Season high is 119. Got to be careful on this 2-0. The guy that has some pop in Ben Zobrist, 7 home runs this year, trying to extend his 16-game hitting streak and his 35-game on base streak as far as games that he's started. Nice pitch on 2-0 for strike 1.
He uses the hand vibration, hitting both ways.
And that's pretty unique. Sometimes
different triggers.
Switch hitters usually have. Some have just totally different stances. We've seen switch hitters where they'll stride on one side and not stride on the other.
3-1, Soler due next. Scoreless game in the 7th. Game 2 of this 4-game series. Cubs took the opener 2-0 yesterday. And the Dodger offense that broke out Saturday night against New York silenced over the first 2. Strike 2. Last night was only the 2nd time all year the Dodgers have been shut out. Hope that they can find some offense here in the late innings. Blanton to Zobrist, 3-2, and he got him. That's 3 strikeouts tonight for Zobrist in his many trips up there with a guy that leads the majors in on-base percentage. A perfect inning of relief for Joe Blanton, and the Cubs without a base runner since the 3rd. Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop online at choosenissan.com. View of the Windy City from Lake Michigan. Clayton Richard will come into the game for Jake Arrieta, and so the pen had become quiet because Richard had thrown enough pitches where he felt warm. So Arrieta leaves after 7 shutout frames. Richard in to face the top of the order, and Chase Utley in to take strike 1. 16th outing for the left-hander is an ERA around 6. 1 year after the Cubs acquired him, and he was a key piece out of the bullpen. Chase is 0 for 3 today, 0 for 7 in the series. After the monster weekend in New York where he knocked in 9 runs. 2-1.
It's not too often that you see a pitcher, Clayton Richard, he kind of has a slight hesitation in his delivery, but he also will hit his leg with the ball in his hand. Watch as he separates his hands. That's usually used for what?
Well, it could be a correction that he used to be a rapper. He might have wrapped his wrist and it really hurt his movement or his delivery. It just kind of keeps him the arm swing from getting too deep and behind him and stuck, where all of a sudden he hits the front of his thigh, so it gets his arm on a better path.
When you say wrapper, you mean his arm wrapped behind him?
He wraps behind you and you wrap your wrist. But here he hits the front and it kind of takes him. His thigh is blocking his arm swing coming just naturally out of his glove and maybe wrapping behind him.
He pulls it back out when he's going. They're pulling that arm back. Sometimes it goes way too far and your front shoulder starts twisting and it throws you all out of whack.
Working on Chase Utley, leading off this 8th inning in a scoreless game. Here's a 3-2. So a no decision for Jake Arrieta tonight. Same thing for Scott Kazmir. Both of them fabulous. Arrieta with a 7 shutout frames despite 4 walks. Kazmir allowed just 1 hit. Utley lines the ball to right. On comes Hayward. Plays it on a bounce. And Chase Utley starts this 8th inning with a single.
Trying to get something going. We talked about Chase Utley, what he's done for this Dodger offense this year, setting the table now, leading off the inning, getting a nice base hit. Hayward doing a good job out there keeping that ball in front. Very similar to what Trace Thompson did earlier in the game on a similar ball.
Any chance you consider playing for 1 run here and having Corey Seager bunt?
It's definitely a thought. Absolutely. You think about that. I mean, it is a close game the way your pitching has. You think about him bunting. But you also, it's hard to do it if you haven't been asking the guy to do it. You know.
Doesn't look like it. 1-1.
Well, I've seen it where some managers will say, okay, I'll give you 1 swing, especially you're an aggressive guy like Corey, and then now try it. And that's why they threw over. They want to see, if he's going to show. It's like, okay, we'll get 1 swing, then now he's going to try to move him over, get it down. And so he didn't show anything.
Slaps it to the left side, smothered by Russell, but he's got no play, and an infield single for Seager.
You know, Chase Utley's okay. He took an awkward slide at second base because he knew there was a possible play at second. Kind of got stuck when he slid going into second base because he's like, he knew he had to get over there in a hurry. It was a great play by Russell. Thinking his only play might have been at second. Watch this slide. He kind of really went up there, and see how he just kind of stuck.
By the way, in case you're wondering, not only does Corey Seager not have a sacrifice bunt as a major leaguer, he doesn't have a sacrifice since he was in AA in 2014. So here's Gonzalez with 2 on and nobody out in a scoreless game in the 8th. The game-winning hit in the 9th inning on Sunday in New York with a 2-run single. That broke a 2-2 tie. Here it's 0-0. Line drive, base hit, left field. Here comes Chase Utley to break the tie. It's 1-0 Dodgers. Adrian Gonzalez has done it again.
Not easy to do when you have lefty on lefty, and especially Richard is kind of throwing across his body. He really steps more toward the first base side. Adrian Gonzalez staying inside that ball beautifully and just driving it the other way.
And Joe Madden out of the dugout to take it from Clayton Richard. 3 straight singles to start this inning. Get the Dodgers their first run of the series and the first run of this game. It's 1-0. Sportsnet LA is brought to you by BMW. See a Southern California BMW Center today for exceptional offers, or visit SoCalBMW.com. And by Children's Hospital Los Angeles. We treat kids better. Adam Warren comes into the game for the Cubs. 2 on, nobody out for the Dodgers. 3 consecutive singles to greet and chase Clayton Richard after Jake Arrieta left the game. Jock Peterson comes up. Dodgers trying to add on. Cubs, one of the best offenses in baseball. Take all the insurance you can get if you're the Dodgers. Seager at second, Gonzalez at first. As Jock climbs in 0 for 3 tonight. Adam Warren's first pitch drifts outside, ball 1. And so with the Dodgers getting this run, if the bullpen can hang on to it, it would snap the Cubs' 23-game winning streak with Jake Arrieta as the starting pitcher. That's matching a major league record, which is held by Chris Medlin. The Braves won 23 consecutive Jake Arrieta or 23 consecutive Chris Medlin starts from 2010 to 2012. Again, the last time the Cubs lost an Arrieta start was Cole Hamels' no-hitter last July.
Well, we talked about at the beginning of the game what a game this would be for the Dodgers to beat the Cubs with Jake on the mound, and an emotional lift and a challenge for Dave Roberts' club. Boy, they would sure like to finish this one off because they have a fantastic opportunity to break that streak.
Even this series at a game apiece. With 2 more to be played tomorrow night and then Thursday afternoon before the Dodgers fly home to start a homestand. The Braves coming to town. 1-2. Peterson pulls a line drive into the right field corner. Hayward is there. Tagging from second is Seager, and they're at the corners with 1 gone.
Good job by Corey Seager to make up for it. He almost made a mistake, you know, but no outs. Usually on a deep fly ball you freeze when you're at second base, so at least you get to third. And then he goes, oh boy, I think this is going to hit. All right, oh, I better get back there in case he catches it, and he does. Has enough time to get over there to third base with less than 2 outs.
It's like the old shuttle drill there.
Yeah. And there are times you either just stay on the bag or you give yourself just a little bit in case it does go by him and you can score.
Trace Thompson is 0 for 3. Happy to see Jake Arrieta out of there. Who isn't? Congrats to Trace's brother Clay, by the way, going to the NBA Finals. Golden State, incredible comeback. Clay a big part of that, especially in Game 6. Off. Warren's 1-0. 2 balls and no strikes.
Warren's got a big arm, 95, 96. He can get there. He's got that slider he just threw Chase. Change up and a curveball, but a lot of the stuff kind of like Jake Arrieta. Big right-hander, powerful arm.
Thompson rips it foul.
There's the changeup at 84. That's why he was so far out in front.
But it was up. He hangs the changeup. The one you can handle, and you're just upset your timing was just off because that was the one. You're looking for a pitch just to get in the air. You've set your sights. You've cut the plate in half. You're looking for something at the top half of the plate to get it in the air, and you get it and pull it.
Montero sets away for this 2-1. Trace Thompson takes it low. 3 balls and 1 strike. Warren came over in exchange for Starlin Castro, who had been a staple in the infield for the Cubs for this rebuilding project over the last several years. is 3-1. And Thompson looks at ball 4. So the Dodgers have loaded the bases in front of Howie Kendrick and have a chance to put a crooked number up there in the 8th.
They've showed some good discipline by getting so many walks here today, setting the table in this inning with all the back-to-back hits. Howie could polish off a really nice rally. Remember when that guy was thrust into the leadoff hole at the beginning of the year?
Yeah.
They can't remove him now.
Oh.
Kendrick barely nicks it foul. It was looking like Andre Ethier would be the guy in the leadoff spot. And Ethier, of course, with a hairline fracture in his leg. Still rehabbing back from that. And even in the final days of spring training, I think that had you asked around, I don't know, there would have been one definitive answer that would tell you Chase Utley was going to be the leadoff guy. It was just kind of opening days showed up, and there he was. Doubled in his first debut and hasn't looked back. And remember, he was only the everyday second baseman to start the year because Howie Kendrick started the year on the DL with a calf injury. Howie's up there with the bases juice. 1-1. The Dodgers had 6 base runners over the first 15 innings in this series. Now 7 of the last 9 have reached to try to take advantage of it. Howie takes it in the dirt. Runners hold 2-2.
Good take by Howie, because that started off as a strike. It was one that they wanted you to swing and miss or attempt to make it look like a strike. Start off in the strike zone, and a good block by Montero.
Needs a K. Another foul ball.
He missed his pitch on a 1-1 fastball down the middle. He fought off that one to stay alive.
Continues to battle in what is a big spot here in the 8th inning. Sure is nice to get one just to break that scoring seal. And would you feel a lot better if you get a couple more here? Another 2-2. And it kicks away, but it's up the third base line, and everybody's got a hold.
Oh, fortunate bounce for the Cubs. I mean, Corey, it was right in front of him. He sees it. So he sees also the ball just kind of bounce right toward him.
360 degrees, and it goes to 1 degree. It could save the runs.
Is it Corey turn and say to Chris Woodward, what was that?
Yeah. Well, that was a wild pitch before. It hit off the same shin guard the same way off Montero.
I guess the Cubs do have 108 years of good luck coming their way. Nowhere to put him. In the air to deep right field, sending Hayward back. This will get the job done. Here comes Corey Seager, and it's 2-0 Dodgers. Howie Kendrick, an RBI sac fly to get some insurance.
That's a really good at bat by Howie Kendrick. Because when he ends up falling behind, he battles off some tough pitches, fouls some balls off his foot, and he ends up getting a ball he can handle up in the zone for the sacrifice fly.
He fouled off 4 pitches during that at bat. Ultimately finds a way to elevate it and bring home Seager. Which brings up Grandal. Ball 1. Yasmani, couple of walks tonight. 1-1. His most important job will now be to guide Pedro Baez through the bottom of this inning. And then hopefully Kenley Jansen in the ninth. Cubs won the opener 2-0. Dodgers lead game 2. The same score. RBI single for Adrian Gonzalez. RBI sac fly for Howie Kendrick. 2-1 on Grandal.
Let it go, Yasmani. 3-1, get the pitch and try to hit it out.
I think you can sit dead red too. He's struggling with the changeup command. He's hung one. Thompson pulled foul.
No, he tried to, but cracked his back. Pop up that ends the inning, but the Dodgers finally get on the board. Adrian Gonzalez with a third of 3 consecutive singles to start the inning. It brought home Chase Utley. And Howie Kendrick with a deep at-bat drove one to deep right to bring home Seager. 2-0. .com at Bat App. Stay up to the moment at any moment. It's the #1 app for live baseball on your phone and tablet. Joe Blanton stays in here for the 8th inning after a perfect 7th to face Soler, Russell, and Montero. Soler has the batting gloves back on. Tried it for 2 at-bats. Went 0 for 2 and put him back on. 1-1.
Joe Blanton's longest outings this year are 3 times he's gone 2 innings. Don't be surprised if that guy needs to get a 4-out save. He is ready. Last time he pitched on the 29th.
So there with a towering fly ball to center. Jock Peterson one away. Now Dave Roberts has said that He doesn't think that he'd like to use Kenley Jansen for more than an inning, more than about once a month. He did it twice in one weekend when he had to. San Diego got to him. Nomar, you should between innings. You're joking around.
I was like, it's the 31st, so is it technically now? Maybe it's not technically June yet, but
somewhere
the 30, you know, just happens to be the extra day, 31st day. If it was kind of a 30-day month, you know, so how's he looking at that?
Yeah, some time zone it's June. Edison Russell taking low, 1 ball and 1 strike. Boy, that insurance run sure does help the feelings here, doesn't it?
It gives you a breather out there on that little circle with the hill you're throwing from. It's a lot different feeling looking in for a sign when you've got 2 runs on the board instead of just 1 where every pitch could tie the game.
A lot of potent bats in this Cubs lineup. He strikes out Russell, and 5 up, 5 down for Joe Blanton. 2 away.
Slider, 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 sometimes a cutter, and then show the fastball. It just disappears. They know what's coming, but the spin has got to be so tight that it's hard for them to know when it's going to start breaking.
Miguel Montero with the bases empty and 2 gone. Well, yesterday we saw the final 25 Dodgers retired. Right now 15 straight Cubs have been retired.
This bullpen has been on a roll. The men in the pen have done an outstanding job coming into the night. Last 36 and 2/3 innings. They have an ERA of 1.47. Taken a lot of heat, but they have responded, turned their cold streaks into hot streaks. And I know as a group they're just looking for a little more consistency with this excellence creeping up every once in a while.
Behind Kenley Jansen is the bullpen coach Josh Bard in his first season in that role. 2-1. Foul tipped into the mid. It evens at 2-2.
Saw this pattern against Anthony Rizzo where he throws that cutter and then he throws the same pitch, but it takes a little more off, goes back foot with it against lefties. Goes a little lower into the dirt. See if Yasmani puts the glove down and in here. And go up and in.
On the ground to first. Gonzalez takes it to the bag. And tonight, the answer to the 8th inning question is Joe Blanton. 2-0 on to the 9th.
I'll be in the clubhouse talking to Dave Roberts and Scott Kazmir, as well as Adrian Gonzalez, if this holds, guys.
All right. Carl Crawford trying to help the Dodgers add some runs on here with a leadoff single against Warren here in the top of the ninth.
It's good to see a couple of good-looking guys in the studio, and then Jerry.
Love it when you guys get Jerry when his mic's closed and can't respond.
That's the best time.
Yeah, it's perfect time.
Right.
If his mic's open, you'll never get a word in edgewise.
Kike Hernandez batting in the 9 spot. The symmetry in this game from yesterday is pretty remarkable. Cubs yesterday won the game 2-0, scored both runs in 1 inning, and held the Dodgers to just 1 hit while retiring the final 25 that they face. It's totally flipped today. Dodgers got both their runs in 1 inning in the 8th. They've held the Cubs to just 1 hit, and they've retired 16 in a row. Same script, just flip. The Dodgers trying to do something that's not been done since last July, which is the Cubs getting beat in a game in which Jake Arrieta started. Warren home with a 1-1 pitch. And Kike takes strike 2. Cubs will have 9-1-2 due up bottom of the 9th inning against Kenley Jansen. Game 3 tomorrow. Mike Bolsinger for the Dodgers, John Lester for the Cubs, and then in the finale on Thursday. Right now it's Kenta Maeda. They said they'll evaluate again shortly. Kenta still bouncing back from that line drive he took off his hand in his last start. Kyle Hendricks will counter for the Cubs in that finale. Final game the teams will play against each other this year, at least in the regular season. Utley single, or Crawford single to start the inning, and now Hernandez bounces it foul. Crawford running. It stays 3-2.
Dave Roberts not only starting Carl Crawford because he can steal a bag, but maybe open up a hole for Kike Hernandez to get him out of his slump. Maybe not have to think quite as much up there at the plate. Just react to the baseball if it's a strike.
Runs again, and Hernandez smashes a base hit into center. And with Crawford moving on the pitch, he's easily at third. So the Dodgers at the corners with nobody out, trying to add on to this 2-0 lead.
You touched on Kike struggling a little bit, but coming off, and that was just a pretty swing right there all around. I mean, when you're struggling and you want to go, okay, you want to get a feel and you want to understand, okay, how do I get that back into the groove with a swing like this? You go back in the video room, you watch it again. I get that fastball, I stay on it, I don't foul it. When you're in a slump, those are the ones you're fouling off, and you're going, gosh, I got my pitch. And yeah, he'll blow kisses too. So when he's feeling good,
like only Kike can. Joe Madden out to the mound. He's going to make a double switch. Tommy La Stella comes in. Trevor Cahill will take the ball on the mound. Cubs. And then here it's runners at the corners with nobody out as the Dodgers try to tack on here in the 9th inning.
Jason Hamilton pulled up lame after 2 innings yesterday, and Cahill looked like he was going to be the guy that came in. He got called back. They went to a lefty. Cahill, kind of the jack of all trades down there in the pen.
Tommy La Stella coming in defensively for Addison Russell, and I don't think he even knew where they wanted him to go. What they'll do is put him at third and move Chris Bryant to short. Showing off his versatility. He's played all over the place for the Cubs this year. In fact, there was 1 inning where he played 3 different positions. Chase Utley singled to start the 8th, came in to score the game's first run. Cahill delivers strike 1. Back on May 18th in Milwaukee, Bryant started the inning in left field, came in and played third in a 5-man infield in a situation where they brought in an extra infielder. Slid to first for 1 batter. It's a left-handed hitter. They wanted his defense at first, and then back to left field. Hunter takes off for second. Kike will get it. Fielder's indifference. So even with all the versatility Bryant has shown, and even within innings his versatility, this is the first time he's ever played short. Joe Madden has remarked before, kind of in passing, I think he could be a shortstop. Prove it.
Joe Madden also looking at the probabilities of you being able to get more than 1 run off of Kenley Jansen, and really just gave up the runner Kike Hernandez to second base just to say the real run that's going to matter is on third, and if you get more after that, you're probably not going to win the game or come back and tie it.
Utley down and swinging, and a nice change from Cahill for the first out. So here's Seager, who is 2 for 4. It's his 4th 2-hit game out of the 5 games on this trip. Back-to-back changeups.
Cahill really has that working right now. And it is starting off right in the middle of the plate as a strike, looking like a strike, and just the bottom falling.
Got to be a lot easier to get it to bite here than it did in Arizona. Tell you what, this is you want the insurance run badly if you're the Dodgers, but it's also you don't want the Cubs to go in the bottom of the 9th feeling a little momentum by getting out of this jam with a 0. The chorus in the dugout becomes, you never know, let's go, you never know. And you don't want them to be able to have that. You want them to go in the dugout after this inning and go, we got no chance now.
So 4 consecutive changeups to Seager.
Yes.
He's seen 5 in a row this year.
Turning that bat against Miami. Marlins sweep over the Dodgers at the end of April. Cahill's 2-2. Well, that was something harder, and it's hammered to deep right field. Corey Seager goes deep. A 3-run homer to break it open in the 9th inning. Dodgers lead 5-0.
Well, they're probably thinking we should have gone 5 in a row because trying to sneak a fastball by him after throwing 4 in a row. He took the 2 prior to that really well, as if he's now recognizing it out of his hand. So they're thinking, all right, he's probably looking for a changeup again. So let's try to get a fastball in there, see if we can beat him. And oh, that quick bat of Corey Seager, he gets the barrel to the ball quickly.
It's like a perfect swing, isn't it? It's textbook video stuff. Tom Amansky video. The Cyborgs. Those are mostly fielding videos, I guess, but thing of beauty in a 5-0 lead. And so some different faces down in that bullpen starting to stir. Adam Liberatore instead of Kenley Jansen. Dodgers leading the National League in home runs since May 10th. I mentioned earlier that started with a pinch hit walk-off home run from Trace Thompson against the Mets. Gonzalez puts it in play. Cahill has it and will feed out to first to get him. And prior to that stretch, beginning on May 10th, the Dodgers were second last in the majors in home runs. Only the Braves had hit fewer. Two gone, bases empty. Here's Jock Peterson.
Home run might loom large in the rest of this series, because now Kenley Jansen might not have to be used tonight, and with a night game and then a day game on getaway day, that would have been quite a string for Kenley Jansen to kind of go back to back and then a back with a day game the next day. But now with the extra runs, Kenley's set up to be able to go back to back with the night game and then the day game, having enough rest.
Madden, second season as manager. I'm sure anybody really saw it coming. Fly ball on the left field line. Long run for Jorge Soler, but he's there. And the inning comes to a close, but the Dodgers tack on 3. Corey Seager with his 9th home run of the season gives LA some additional breathing room. 5-zip to the bottom of the 9th. 3-hit game capped off by a 3-run homer. And it's 5-0 Dodgers as Adam Liberatore comes in for the bottom of the 9th inning. Kenley Jansen had warmed but quickly sat down with Seager's home run. Liberatore to face 9-1-2. La Stella, then Fowler, then Hayward. Kike Hernandez, after pinch hitting, stays in and plays left field, placing Carl Crawford. Stella hitting .294 on limited action. Adam Liberatore's first pitch. We said last night, Nomar, when we were wrapping things up, as we were talking about how bleak things look, you lose a game 2-0 and get just one hit, and know you have Jake Arrieta looming. While they didn't get the job done against Arrieta, they got to the bullpen afterwards.
And this was the same bullpen that was perfect against them the night before.
With all the context around that, talking about how bad they looked yesterday, how quiet the offense was, the fact that nobody's beaten a Jake Arrieta-led Cubs team in almost a year. The context around that, you got to figure, can really boost a lineup and a team moving forward.
Well, they've been playing good baseball, solid baseball. They know that. They, yesterday could have been a byproduct of travel. We can say that. They never will. They won't say that as players. But they've also been doing a good job of scoring runs in the late innings. And that's really been solid, and really that can just boost the team in general, knowing that they are not out of any game.
Estella flies it into center. Jock Peterson is there, and there is one gone in the 9th inning.
What I was really impressed when I just look at right now the game and where they are standing 5-0 is that 7th inning with Joe Blanton coming in, because the game was still 0-0. Now you got to come in, you realize that Scott Kazmir, we talked about how the offense recognizes that your starting pitcher is doing a great job. Well, now the bullpen, Joe Blanton has to come in and say, okay, I can't give this up either. I got to continue with Scott Kazmir. At least I too have to give the offense a chance to come back and put some runs up. And he did a great job so they can come back in the 8th and put a couple up.
Fowler climbs in there. He's got the only hit today for the Cubs. And so we're 2 outs away from seeing the Dodgers get 1 hit in the series opener. And the Cubs get 1 hit in game 2. As it stands now, Joe Blanton would be the winning pitcher. 2 perfect innings of relief. Fowler in the air to center. 2 up and 2 down. Yesterday, the final 25 Dodger hitters were retired. And today, Dodgers pitching pulling the same thing against the Cubs. Retired 18 in a row as Hayward steps to the plate. Bolsinger for the Dodgers tomorrow against John Lester. Same time, same place. 5:05 Pacific, 7:05 here in the Central Time Zone. With the finale on Thursday. Talked about it off the top tonight, Nomar. The bigger picture of this road trip. A win here sets up a chance tomorrow to clinch a winning trip.
And that sets up not just a winning trip, which it does, but it also can set up a really good road trip, especially against 2 teams like the New York Mets and the Cubs. Cubs with the best record in baseball. So if you come in here in 4 and win the series with Chicago and come home 5-2 on that road trip, wow.
Liberatore gets Hayward, and the Dodgers beat the Cubs 5-0, snapping the Cubs' 23-game winning streak, and Jake Arrieta starts. They get 2 in the 8th. They get 3 in the 9th. Joe Blanton, the winning pitcher. Adrian Gonzalez broke the scoreless tie with the RBI single. Corey Seager added the 3-run home run to make things simple in the 9th inning for Adam Liberatore. Time now for Alexis Player of the Game. Scott Kazmir almost gets lost in late inning offense. He was great.
When you know that you're going up against one of the best in the game, but you're on your game and you're going toe-to-toe, there's no chance for mistakes, and he didn't make any.
6 shutout innings for him. Dodgers even this series at a game apiece. Will try and take a series advantage tomorrow. We'll try and clinch a winning road trip tomorrow. That does it for now. For Oral and Nomar, Lalana, Joe Davis saying so long. We get you to Access Sportsnet Dodgers, brought to you by Nissan, and bring it back to the broadcast booth in just a bit.